So I have the axle skeleton right here. The lighting's kind of bad, but I will put it kind of, let's see, there we go. So we have the parietal bone, which is right here. This little area right here and here. And then we have the frontal bone, which is our forehead area. Then we have the squamous part, which would be right here. Our nasal bone would be right here. And then we would have our sphenoid bone, which would be here, but also you would be able to see it through here, which would be the greater wing, that wing butterfly-shaped bone. And then we would have the temporal bone, which would be here, right here. And then we would have the lacrimal bone, which would be an inner area right here. And then we would have the infraorbital foramen, which would be this little area here, here. And then the maxilla would be right above right here. And then we would have the mandible, which would be here. So like right here, that area. Right there. And then the mental foramen, and then the mandibular symphysis would be this little area right here. And then again, the frontal bone would be here. And then the glabella would be here. And then the front tonsillar suture would be that little like crease right there. I could see that now. It's right there. And then the suborbital foramen, the notch, would be like above the eyes, like right there, right here. And then we would have the superior orbital fissure, which would be in the inner, would be the other part of the greater wing area, but more of the line back there. And then the optical canal would be in there in the socket. And then the ethmoid, right in the back. And then so the ethmoid would be also inside the nose cavity area right here. And then we would have the middle nasal concha, and then that would be in the same little area right there. And then the perpendicular plate would also be a little bit right there on top of that little line. And then the vomer would be right under, like the same thing, the same like little line right there that you see. The inferior nasal, the perpendicular plate, and then right underneath it would be the vomer. Right there. Sorry. And then we would have our sutures. And then we, let's see here. Let's see here. The coronal suture would be this one right here. That one right there. And then that's with the front, it connects with the frontal bone here. And then the parietal bone, we could pat. Like parent, pat, and that one, that's how I. And then the temporal bone would be this little area right here. And then the sphenoid bone, the greater wing, would also lie like in this little area. And this little area right here. The ethmoid bone, you could also see it from like right there. And then, let's see this. And then we have the occipital condyle. Actually, it could be somewhere right here. Right here. And then we would have the external occipital crest, would be this right here, be the same thing that we would be able to feel right here. We were to feel behind there on our occipital bone. And then we would have the suture of the lambdoid suture that would connect with the occipital bone right here. It would go around right here. Let me see it. There we go. And then the mastoid process of the temporal bone would be this little guy right here. The one that we could feel behind. We could feel it right here. And then we have the facial bone. Okay. And then we would have the vertebrae column. So let me get it. We named him Harry. My kids. Let's see here. We have the bony St. Harry. Okay. Let's see here. So we have our vertebrae. Let's see here. Which there is 26 altogether. And then we have the cervical curvature. Then we have the thoracic curvature, which holds 12. And then the lumbar curvature, which holds 5. And then the sacral curvature, which is 5 fused vertebrae. And then the cox, which is right here. There's 4 fused vertebrae right here, 5 right here for the sacral, and then the lumbar would be another 5. The thoracic would be here. So the ones that you could probably, the ones that you see in the spine, I would point out here. And then we have the cervical curvature, which would be here. And it kind of forms like an S, like on the body. And then we have the sternum, which is right here. And then it holds the manubrum, which is like the top bone right here. And then the sternal angle, which would be right there, that little line right there. And then it has the body, which would be that long thing right here. Oh no. This sphinxsternal joint would be right here. Not really that, but there'd be one right here. And then And then we have the ribs, which we have 12 ribs altogether. 12 ribs altogether. And then we have the true ribs would be 1 through 7 right here. And then we would have the false ribs 8 through 12 right here. And then our floating ribs would be these two right here, because they don't really attach to this area right here. And then we would have cartilage like all right here, even in the false ribs area right here. And then that's it for my axoskeleton. Thank you so much.